Captain Jai-Ho Park stood at the main window of Earth Space Station 7, looking at the strange ship floating in the distance. The alien vessel was unlike anything he had ever seen. It looked like a giant silver leaf, smooth and shiny, spinning slowly in space. The ship had appeared 3 days ago, and no one knew what to do about it. "Captain, the Admiral wants to see you," said Officer Tadwan, walking up behind him. Ji-Ho nodded and straightened his blue uniform. He knew this meeting would be important. In the Admiral's office, large screens showed different views of the mysterious ship. Admiral Lee looked worried as Ji-Ho entered the room. "Captain Park, we need your help," the Admiral said, pointing to the screens. "This ship isn't responding to any of our messages. Our scans show it's still working, but we can't figure out how to communicate with it. We want you to lead a team to investigate." Ji-Ho looked at the images carefully. "Have we tried all standard greeting protocols?" "Every single one," the Admiral replied. "The ship's systems are active, but it's like they're waiting for something specific, something we haven't tried yet." Hannah Kim, the station's top research specialist, walked in with a tablet in her hands. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "Captain, Admiral, I think I found something interesting," she said. "The ship's outer layer isn't just metal. It's covered in tiny sensors that react to biological signals." "What kind of signals?" Ji-Ho asked. Hannah showed them her tablet. "It's like the ship wants to feel whoever tries to contact it. Our protective suits and ships might be blocking the signals it's looking for." The Admiral frowned. "Are you suggesting we try to contact it without protection? That's against every safety rule we have." "Not exactly," Hannah said. "But we need to think differently. This civilization might communicate in ways we haven't imagined." Ji-Ho walked closer to the window, studying the mysterious ship. Its surface rippled slightly, like water in a gentle breeze. "What do we know about the inside of the ship?" "The scans show it's safe to breathe in there," Hannah answered. "The temperature is perfect for humanoid life. There are rooms, corridors, and what looks like a control center. But here's the strange part. There's no furniture like we know it. Everything seems to be made for beings who interact with their environment differently." Ji-Ho made his decision. "Admiral, I volunteer to lead the investigation team. We'll need Hannah's expertise, and I want Sun-Ho Lee, our xenobiologist, on the team too." The Admiral looked unsure but nodded slowly. "You have my permission, but be extremely careful. We don't know anything about who built this ship or why it's here." As they left the office, Hannah stopped Ji-Ho in the corridor. "Captain, there's something else you should know," she said quietly. "The ship's internal systems, they seem to react negatively to synthetic materials. All our previous probes shut down as soon as they entered. It's like the ship only accepts organic matter." Ji-Ho looked back at the mysterious vessel through a nearby window. Its silver surface caught the light of a distant star, creating beautiful patterns. "Then we'll have to find a way to approach it on its own terms," he said. "Whatever secrets this ship holds, they're worth the risk of trying something new." As they walked to the research lab to plan their mission, neither of them knew they were about to make a discovery that would change human understanding of alien life forever. The strange ship waited silently in space, its secrets still hidden behind its shimmering surface, ready to challenge everything they thought they knew about first contact protocols. Hannah Kim sat in the research lab, surrounded by holographic displays showing data from the alien ship. She had been studying the readings for hours, and what she discovered was both fascinating and troubling. "Captain Park, you need to see this," she called out as Ji-Ho entered the lab. She pointed to one of the displays showing strange energy patterns. The ship isn't just detecting biological signals, it's reading emotions and body energy. Ji-Ho leaned closer to look at the shifting patterns. "What do you mean by body energy?" "The aliens who built this ship, the Nari, they're different from us," Hannah explained. "Their skin can sense and transmit energy fields. They use this ability to communicate and interact with their technology." She paused, knowing her next words would surprise him. And they don't use clothing. They can't. It blocks their natural abilities. Sun-Ho Lee, who had been quietly working at another station, joined them. That explains the ship's reaction to our probes and spacesuits, he said. The synthetic materials interfere with the biological signals the ship is designed to receive. Jai-Ho frowned. Are you saying we can't enter the ship while wearing anything? The ship's defense systems activate when they detect synthetic materials, Hannah confirmed. It's like trying to use a touchscreen while wearing thick gloves. Nothing works properly. They spent the next hour reviewing more data. The ship's interior was maintained at a perfect temperature for humanoid life. Special fields protected against radiation and space debris. Everything was designed for beings who lived in their natural state. Look at this, Sun-Ho said, showing them a simulation. The ship's walls aren't just walls. They're covered in sensitive panels that respond to touch and body energy. The Nari probably control everything through direct skin contact. Jai-Ho walked to the window, watching the alien vessel spin slowly in the distance. We need to make a decision, he said. Either we respect their cultural design and try to communicate on their terms, or we give up on learning their secrets. Hannah stood beside him. There's more, she said quietly. I found evidence that the ship is carrying important information. The energy readings suggest some kind of stasis system protecting living beings. Whatever's in there, they went to great lengths to preserve it. The captain turned to his team. We need to present this to Admiral Lee. But first, I want your honest opinions. Is there any other way to access the ship? Sun-Ho shook his head. We've tried everything else. The ship's systems are designed to work only with direct biological contact. It's not just about accessing the ship. It's about showing respect for their technology and culture. The Nari must be incredibly advanced, Hannah added. Think about it. They've evolved beyond needing artificial protection. Their ships are extensions of their bodies. We might learn things that could change human technology forever. Jai-Ho looked at his uniform, then back at the ship. Prepare a detailed report for the Admiral. Include all safety measures we could implement. If we're going to propose something this unusual, we need to show we've considered everything carefully. As they worked on the report, the alien ship continued its slow spin, its silver surface reflecting the stars. Inside its mysterious halls, secrets waited to be discovered, secrets that would challenge not just human technology, but human perspectives on civilization itself. Admiral Lee read the report twice, his expression growing more serious with each page. Captain Jai-Ho Park, Hannah Kim, and Sun-Ho Lee waited quietly in the conference room as he finished. You're absolutely certain about this? The Admiral asked, looking up from the tablet. There's no other way to enter the ship. We've tried everything else, Hannah explained. The ship's defense systems block all artificial materials. It's designed for direct biological interface only. Sun-Ho stepped forward with his own tablet. Sir, look at these readings, he said, showing a complex graph. The ship's internal environment is perfect for humanoid life. Temperature control, air quality, gravity, everything is precisely maintained. The Nari built it to work with natural biology. The Admiral walked to the window, watching the silver ship gleam in the starlight. The diplomatic implications of this, they're enormous. If we proceed, it must be handled perfectly. We've developed strict protocols, Jai-Ho said, bringing up another document. The mission team will be limited to essential personnel only. We'll establish secure communication channels and maintain constant monitoring from the station. Hannah added, the ship's own systems will actually protect us better than our suits could. The Nari technology responds to biological signals, creating protective fields around living beings. The room fell silent as Admiral Lee considered their proposal. After what seemed like hours, he turned back to face them. Captain Park, if I approve this, how would you proceed? Jai-Ho stood straighter. We start with a small team. Myself, Hannah, and Sun-Ho. We make initial contact with the ship systems and establish basic communication protocols. Once we confirm it's safe, we can begin exploring the ship's purpose and looking for its crew. The scientific possibilities are incredible, Sunho said eagerly. The Nari's ability to interface directly with their technology could revolutionize human understanding of space travel. The Admiral rubbed his temples. The Earth diplomatic course will need convincing. This goes against every first contact protocol we have. Sir, Hanai spoke softly but firmly. Sometimes making history requires breaking old rules. The Nari chose to come to us. Their ship is waiting for someone brave enough to meet them on their terms. After another long pause, Admiral Lee nodded slowly. I'll approve the mission, but with conditions. You'll maintain constant communication with the station. At the first sign of danger, you retreat immediately, and everything must be documented properly for the diplomatic corps. Jaiho felt relief wash over him. Thank you, sir. We won't let you down. As they left the conference room, Sunho turned to his teammates. We should start preparing now. We'll need to practice using the ship's biological interface systems. I've already set up a simulation, Hana said. We can test our ability to interact with the energy fields in a controlled environment. Jaiho looked at his team with pride. They were about to do something no human had ever done before, make first contact with an advanced civilization by embracing their unique way of life completely. It was frightening, exciting, and absolutely necessary. The silver ship continued its peaceful spin in space, waiting for them to take the next bold step in human-alien relations. The small transport pod carried Jaiho, Hana, and Sunho toward the silver alien ship. They had trained for 2 weeks in simulations, but nothing could fully prepare them for this moment. The pod's automatic systems guided them to a glowing entry point on the ship's smooth surface. Station control, we're approaching the entry point, Jaiho reported through their communication devices, the only artificial items they were allowed to keep. The ship's outer hull is responding to our presence. The silver surface of the ship rippled like water, creating an opening for their pod. Soft blue light glowed around them as they passed through the entry chamber. The pod settled gently into place, and the hull sealed behind them. Atmospheric readings are perfect, Sunho said, checking the pod's instruments. Temperature is exactly 23.5 degrees Celsius. No harmful radiation or substances detected. Hana watched in amazement as patterns of light moved across the chamber walls. The ship is scanning us, she said. It's reading our biological signatures. When they opened the pod's door, warm air wrapped around them like a gentle embrace. The floor beneath their feet was smooth and slightly warm, responding to their touch with subtle patterns of light. Remember your training, Jaiho said as they prepared to leave the pod. Keep your thoughts calm and focused. The ship's systems respond to biological signals, including emotional states. They stepped out of the pod together. Immediately, the walls came alive with swirling patterns of light, responding to their presence. The corridor ahead of them illuminated itself, seeming to invite them forward. Hana reached out and touched one of the walls. The surface rippled under her hand, and suddenly a holographic display appeared in the air. Strange symbols floated before them, shifting and changing. It's the ship's artificial intelligence, she said excitedly. It's trying to communicate with us. Sunho studied the symbols carefully. The patterns, they're not just visual. I can feel tiny energy pulses through my skin. This must be how the Nari interact with their technology. As they moved deeper into the ship, they discovered that every surface was responsive to touch. Doors opened at their approach, and rooms lit up as they entered. The ship seemed to be learning from each interaction, adjusting its responses to better suit them. Look at this, Hana called out, standing in what appeared to be a control room. The walls were covered in flowing patterns of light, and a large holographic display filled the center of the room. These are stasis pods. There are people inside them. Jaiho and Sunho hurried to join her. Through the shimmering energy fields of the stasis chambers, they could see humanoid figures floating in a peaceful sleep. They're alive, Sun Ho confirmed, studying the readings. The ship has been protecting them, keeping them in perfect stasis until someone worthy came to wake them. Jai Ho touched the main control panel, and the ship's AI responded with a burst of colored light. Symbols appeared around them, more organized now, as if the AI was beginning to understand how to communicate with them. Station control, Jai Ho reported. We've made contact with the ship's AI and discovered multiple stasis pods containing what appear to be Nari crew members. Request permission to attempt awakening procedures. As they waited for a response, the ship hummed softly around them, its lights pulsing in gentle rhythms that matched their heartbeats. They had taken the first steps into a new era of human-alien relations, and there was no turning back. After receiving approval from station control, the human team began the process of waking the Nari crew. Hannah worked with the ship's AI to understand the stasis pod controls, while Jai Ho and Sun Ho monitored the life signs of the sleeping aliens. The first pod is starting its wake-up sequence, Hannah announced. The pod's surface became clearer, revealing a tall, humanoid figure with silvery blue skin. Energy patterns flowed across the alien's body, creating beautiful swirls of light. The pod opened slowly, releasing a fine mist. The Nari inside took a deep breath and opened their eyes, which were completely silver with no pupils. They sat up gracefully, energy patterns rippling across their skin. I am Dayan, commander of this vessel, the alien said in perfect English, their words carried by pulses of energy that the humans could somehow understand. You have proven yourselves worthy by accepting our ways. More pods began to open. 5 more Nari emerged, each with similar silvery blue skin covered in moving patterns of light. One of them, with more complex patterns flowing across their skin, stepped forward. I am Yuri, chief scientist, they said. We have waited a long time for a species brave enough to meet us as we are. Jai Ho bowed respectfully. I am Captain Jai Ho Park of the Earth Diplomatic Corps. With me are Hannah Kim and Sun Ho Lee. We are honored to meet you. The Nari gathered around them, their energy patterns shifting with curiosity. You have questions, Commander Dayan said. We can sense your wonder and confusion. Why were you in stasis? Sun Ho asked. And why did you come to our solar system? The Nari's energy patterns darkened slightly. We are refugees, Dayan explained. We carry a warning about a threat to all living beings in this galaxy. But first, we must know if your species is ready to hear it. Hannah noticed that the Nari's emotions showed in their energy patterns. When they spoke of the threat, their patterns became sharp and angular. When they expressed curiosity about humans, the patterns flowed in gentle waves. Your adaptability impresses us, Yuri said, moving closer to study the humans. Most species refuse to set aside their artificial barriers. They cannot accept that true understanding requires openness. Jai Ho felt the ship's temperature adjust slightly, keeping everyone comfortable. We want to learn from you, he said. Your technology, your culture, it's amazing. Commander Dayan's energy patterns brightened. Then let us share knowledge. Your willingness to embrace our ways shows wisdom. We will help you understand the threat we flee from, and perhaps together we can find a solution. The Nari began showing the humans how to read their energy patterns. Each pattern had meaning, emotions, thoughts, and even complex scientific concepts could be shared through these beautiful displays of light and energy. The threat we face, Dayan said seriously, it hunts all biological life. But your species has shown something rare, the ability to adapt and accept new ways of thinking. This gives us hope. As humans and Nari work to understand each other, Station Control monitored their interactions with amazement. This unusual first contact was turning into one of the most successful peaceful meetings between species in human history. After receiving approval from Station Control, the human team began the process of waking the Nari crew. Hannah worked with the ship's AI to understand the stasis pod controls, while Jai Ho and Sun Ho monitored the life signs of the sleeping aliens. The first pod is starting its wake-up sequence, Hana announced. The pod's surface became clearer, revealing a tall, humanoid figure with silvery blue skin. Energy patterns flowed across the alien's body, creating beautiful swirls of light. The pod opened slowly, releasing a fine mist. The Nari inside took a deep breath and opened their eyes, which were completely silver with no pupils. They sat up gracefully, energy patterns rippling across their skin. "I am Dayan, commander of this vessel," the alien said in perfect English, their words carried by pulses of energy that the humans could somehow understand. "You have proven yourselves worthy by accepting our ways." More pods began to open. 5 more Nari emerged, each with similar silvery blue skin covered in moving patterns of light. One of them, with more complex patterns flowing across their skin, stepped forward. "I am Yuri, chief scientist," they said. "We have waited a long time for a species brave enough to meet us as we are." Jai-Ho bowed respectfully. "I am Captain Jai-Ho Park of the Earth Diplomatic Corps. With me are Hana Kim and Sun-Ho Lee. We are honored to meet you." The Nari gathered around them, their energy patterns shifting with curiosity. "You have questions," Commander Dayan said. "We can sense your wonder and confusion." "Why were you in stasis?" Sun-Ho asked. "And why did you come to our solar system?" The Nari's energy patterns darkened slightly. "We are refugees," Dayan explained. "We carry a warning about a threat to all living beings in this galaxy. But first, we must know if your species is ready to hear it." Hana noticed that the Nari's emotions showed in their energy patterns. When they spoke of the threat, their patterns became sharp and angular. When they expressed curiosity about humans, the patterns flowed in gentle waves. "Your adaptability impresses us," Yuri said, moving closer to study the humans. "Most species refuse to set aside their artificial barriers. They cannot accept that true understanding requires openness." Jai-Ho felt the ship's temperature adjust slightly, keeping everyone comfortable. "We want to learn from you," he said. "Your technology, your culture, it's amazing." Commander Dayan's energy patterns brightened. "Then let us share knowledge. Your willingness to embrace our ways shows wisdom. We will help you understand the threat we flee from, and perhaps together we can find a solution." The Nari began showing the humans how to read their energy patterns. Each pattern had meaning. Emotions, thoughts, and even complex scientific concepts could be shared through these beautiful displays of light and energy. "The threat we face," Dayan said seriously, "it hunts all biological life. But your species has shown something rare, the ability to adapt and accept new ways of thinking. This gives us hope." As humans and Nari worked to understand each other, Station Control monitored their interactions with amazement. This unusual first contact was turning into one of the most successful, peaceful meetings between species in human history. 1 week after first contact, Commander Dayan called everyone to the ship's main chamber. The room's walls pulsed with dark, worried patterns that made the humans feel uneasy. Even before the Nari spoke, Hana, Sun-Ho, and Ji-Ho could sense that something was wrong. "It is time we showed you why we fled our home," Dayan said. Their skin patterns shifted to create 3-dimensional images in the air around them. The images showed strange, dark shapes moving between stars. 3 months ago, our deep space sensors detected these beings, Yuri explained, their patterns showing fear and concern. "They are ancient creatures made of pure energy. They sleep for millions of years, then wake up to feed." The images changed to show entire solar systems going dark. Hana gasped as she understood what she was seeing. "They eat the energy from living things." "Yes," Commander Dayan confirmed. "They consume all biological energy in their path. Plants, animals, people, everything that lives becomes food for them." Sun-Ho stepped closer to study the images. "How long do we have?" Yuri's patterns turned sharp with worry. "They are waking up now. We estimate 2 Earth years before they reach this part of the galaxy. Our government refused to believe our warning. They said the evidence wasn't clear enough." "That's why you left," Jaiho said. You came to warn other species. Yes, Dayan replied. We chose your species because humans are different. You adapt quickly. You're willing to accept new ideas. Most importantly, you understand the need to work together when facing danger. The room darkened as Yuri created more detailed images. They showed the energy beings more clearly, massive creatures that looked like dark clouds with patterns of lightning inside them. Our sensors can detect them because we evolved to sense energy fields, Yuri explained. But most species can't see them coming until it's too late. We hope that by teaching humans our ways, we could create new technology together, technology that could help protect all living things. Admiral Lee, watching through the communication link, spoke up. How many of these creatures are there? We've detected 12 so far, Dayan answered. But there could be more sleeping in deep space. They move faster than our fastest ships. Once they start feeding, nothing can outrun them. Hana noticed that the Nari's energy patterns had changed. Instead of showing fear, they now showed determination and hope. You think we can find a way to stop them together? Yes, Yuri said firmly. Your species thinks differently than ours. You solve problems in ways we never considered. Together, we might find a solution that neither of us could discover alone. Jaiho looked at his team, then at their new alien friends. Then we need to start working right away. We'll need to tell Earth's governments, gather our best scientists, and combine our knowledge. Commander Dayan's patterns brightened. This is why we chose humans. You don't panic or hide from hard truth. You face it and fight. The room filled with new images, showing plans and ideas the Nari had already developed. Now it was time for humans to add their creativity and determination to the fight for survival. 1 month after the Nari revealed the threat of the energy beings, Earth's space station 7 looked very different. The silver Nari ship now had company. 5 large Earth science vessels floated nearby, their crews working together with the aliens to develop new technology. Captain Jaiho Parks stood in the new Joint Command Center, watching humans and Nari work side by side. The room showed how much things had changed. The walls were lined with both human computer screens and Nari energy interfaces. Everyone worked in the Nari way now, their natural energy fields helping them connect with the advanced technology. The early warning system is almost ready, Hana said, walking up to Jaiho. She had become an expert at reading Nari energy patterns, and now small swirls of light sometimes appeared on her skin when she felt strong emotions. Yuri thinks we can build sensors that will detect the energy beings from twice as far away as before. Commander Dayan joined them, their skin glowing with proud patterns. Your scientists learn our ways faster than we expected. And your ideas have improved our technology in ways we never imagined. Sun Ho entered the room with a group of human and Nari engineers. They had been working on a new type of defense shield. The tests were successful, he announced happily. By combining Nari energy fields with human plasma technology, we can create barriers the energy beings won't be able to cross. Admiral Lee's image appeared on the main screen. In the months since first contact, Earth's governments had worked together like never before. The threat to all life had united humanity in a way nothing else could. The first joint defense station will be ready next week, the Admiral reported. We're building them at every major colony in the solar system. The Nari energy detection systems are being installed now. Yuri's patterns showed excitement as they added, and Earth ships are being modified with our bioenergy interfaces. Soon your whole fleet will be able to sense and avoid the energy beings. Jaiho looked around the room with pride. Humans who had once been uncomfortable with the Nari way of life now moved confidently through the ship, their bodies adapting to the new technology. The Nari had also changed, learning to appreciate human creativity and determination. We have more work to do, Commander Dayan said, but together we are stronger than either of our species alone. The energy beings have never faced united worlds before. Hana smiled as she watched new energy patterns flow across the walls. We turned our differences into strengths, she said. The very thing that seemed strangest about the Neri, their natural state and energy sensing, became the key to saving everyone. And human adaptability proved just as important, Yuri added. You showed us new ways to use our own technology. Together, we will be ready when the threat arrives. As the sun rose over Earth, visible through the station's large windows, Jai-Ho thought about how much had changed in just 1 month. What had started as a strange encounter with a mysterious ship had led to humanity's greatest leap forward. The future was uncertain, but they would face it together, two species united by acceptance, trust, and the determination to protect all life in the galaxy.